Good morning, friends, Romans, countrymen. Welcome to Breakfast with Chuck, sponsored by Fat Guy on a Tiny Bike, or Fat Guy on a Tiny Bike, sponsored by Breakfast with Chuck. Probably wondering where I've been, and me too. Busy. Not much to say, busy, etc. So here we are today, and strange enough, I got something to say. 109 degrees yesterday, but nice little breeze going today out here. Probably be 109 later. Anyways, topic. Yesterday, I had to go to lovely Reno, Nevada for a couple of things and some shopping and etc. And then I decided to stop by a place that we're planning to have some meetings at. A place called Gold and Silver. It was featured on Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And if you're wondering about my breathing this morning, the pollen in the air is obscene. So there's that. Anyways, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And I'd been to the place before and remembered it fondly, but I'm about 30 minutes early to this, meeting, which it turns out I'm a week early for, but beside the point. So I'm sitting in the parking lot, kind of, surveying the area, which is, a little sketchy. And I see this guy come walking toward the truck that's parked next to me. No big deal. Then I hear a noise, and I look over and realize he's bashing in the windshield of this SUV with a very large sledgehammer. And, I've seen plenty of weird stuff in my day. This does not surprise me. But it surprises me is it's 10:30 in the morning in bright sunlight with plenty of traffic and police driving by and everything else. And this guy basically takes out the windshield and leaves. Obviously, he's unhappy about something. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. And as it approaches about 10 to 11, I should say, and before that, there's this door on the side of the building. I can't really tell where to go in, but it's marked clearly exit only with like 10 signs. And I see a continuous stream of people entering it. So I'm like, okay, maybe there are rules, maybe there aren't. But about 10 till, I decide to go in the restaurant. So I try to get out of the car, and immediately I'm approached by two individuals as I'm literally opening the door that tell me that there is they refer to it as a gift required for me to park my car there. And these two guys do not look, friendly, for this, to say the least. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you need to give us a gift. And they point to this box of stuff that I had previously purchased. That was the back seat of the car. Little puppy on the road here. And I just kind of shake my head, and then they go, or cash will do. And I use some, colorful language, and I think I outweighed them both by about 150 pounds, and I just didn't care. just shut up and go away, you morons, was kind of my opinion. But, I'd seen the cops drive by the smashed window in the car, so I pretty much knew there wasn't going to be a lot of help in the neighborhood. In any case, I walked by them. They immediately start accosting the guy in a car directly behind me, and I can hear him saying, "You need to give us a gift." And I just kept going, figuring, he can handle his own problem, I just handled mine. So I walk in the restaurant, and I'd been out roaming around the planet for a while, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I walk into a restaurant, and as I enter the restaurant, there's a waitress, cashier, whatever you want to call her, and this guy comes walking up immediately as I've started talking, and tells me to shut the fuck up. And I've already seen the outside of the place, and now I'm fascinated by what's going on here. And I went, "What?" And he repeats himself multiple times, and then takes the better part of 10 or 15 minutes to ramble to the waitress, not about food. I couldn't even tell what he was rambling to her about. But it wasn't, really English. Although he was clearly speaking English, it was just babble. And finally he walks away in the other direction. And I say to her, "Well, that was interesting." And she looks at me like I was the problem. And clearly, I was not the problem. In any case, so I said to her, "I need the restroom." And so before I can turn to go to the bathroom, the guy comes around the corner from the direction he was at and takes his shoulder and smacks me, like, plows into me with his shoulder. Hard. And she's standing there, and I said, "Don't you want to do something about this?" And she says, "No." And okay. I go into the bathroom, come back out. I'm going to sit there and wait. And I explained to her that, I've got a bunch of people coming for lunch, and I'm not feeling very safe at the place. And she basically doesn't care. I mean, I can see that in her fabulous demeanor. Even though wearing a tie-dye shirt. So, you would think those people are okay. I tend to be one, and but no. So I say, "What's the deal with the door? Is there only one door into this place?" And she says, "There's one entrance and one exit." And I said, "Then why did I see 8 or 10 people going in the exit while I waited outside to come in?" And she goes, just kind of shrugs, like she didn't care. Like, okay. So now I think maybe my people are already here. And so I decide to go look into the restaurant to see if they're already, minding their own business somewhere, because I can't see. So I go walking into the restaurant part of the deal, and my good friend was there, the guy who smacked me and yelled at me earlier. And he starts in again. And now he brings another guy with him. And they start at me, and I don't talk, I don't say a word. I walk away, and I'm back up. My people aren't there, and I walk back up to the counter, and I asked the lady working there, I said, "Did you just see that?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Are you not going to do anything about the less than classy clientele you have in this location?" And she just kind of shakes her head and goes back to work. So I said, "Yeah, you know, I think I've had about enough." I go, "This place is dangerous. It's not just uncouth, it's dangerous. You got crazy people in here. You got people going in and out the door who don't pay attention. I watched somebody's windshield get destroyed outside. And, you know, honestly, I think I'm going to recommend my people don't eat here." And, you know, to be honest with you, I think I'll write a review and say I recommend that nobody eats here. Ever. And she once again just shrugs. And I go to leave. And I can't open the door. And I'm looking and I'm kind of jostling the door a bit. And then I look down and realize that there are two hookers, ladies of the evening at 11 a.m., camped out and leaning against the door. And because it's a shady spot, and I understand that, it was really hot, and they won't move. They're not moving. So I change doors and get in my car and leave, thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? I mean, it was the weirdest thing I had encountered in a long time. People just, they had like a list of 500 jobs for sale or available all over the restaurant. I guess we could understand why that is, because, you know, you work there or you get mugged or your car gets stolen maybe, and you know, you got to go find work in a safe environment. But I cannot imagine what that place is like at night. And we're talking 11 o'clock in the morning. The sun is up. It's bright outside. And craziness is taking place. Not that, you know, hookers can work during the day too. That's fine. They weren't really bothering anybody. They were just blocking the door for some shade. Which, perfectly fine, except you think management would have a little bit of a problem with that. But apparently they didn't. So that was the jux of that. But I got in my car and got out of there, and have since done a fine job recommending the Gold and Silver in Reno, Nevada as a place to avoid, regardless of whether it shows up on Guy Fieri's Gold and Silver Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives recommendation. I'm sure a guy hasn't been back. You need an armored car to go to that place. Even then, they might, you know, take the windshield out. But anyways, there's a story about food. By the way, I didn't eat there. I have eaten there in the past, and it was fine. But, you know, I don't see it happening again. I just don't see it happening again. So, there you have it. Another fine episode of Breakfast with Chuck where I didn't eat. And it's, you know, comfortably warm outside currently. And I'm sure we'll do this again. Maybe with food. Maybe not with food. But until then, muchachos, have a nice day, and be careful out there. All right.